Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Great.
All right. Well, let's get started. We continue on this journey of giving birth to divine ideas. Children laugh as much as 100 to 200 times a day, compared to a large majority of adults who only get 0 to maybe a few daily laughs. Laughter is good not only for the body, but also for the soul and the spirit. Our well-being benefits from laughter. Laughter increases antibodies in saliva that combats upper respiratory infections. Laughter secretes an enzyme that protects the stomach from forming ulcers. Laughing conditions the abdominal muscles. Laughing relaxes muscles throughout the body. Laughing aids in reducing symptoms of the nervous system and rheumatoid arthritis, which is inflammation of our muscles and tissues and joints. Laughing changes perspective. Laughing has positive benefits on mental functions. It reduces blood pressure and heart rate. It helps the body fight infections. Laughing releases endorphins, which provides natural pain relief. Laughing tightens the stomach muscles. Laughing helps move nutrients and oxygen to body tissues. And not to mention, it makes us feel good. So let's do a little laughter. Amen?
Amen.
There was an elderly couple who in their senior years noticed that they were forgetting a lot. So they decided to go to the doctor. The doctor told them that they should start writing things down so that they don't forget. They went home and the senior lady told her husband to get her a bowl of ice cream. She said, write that down. The husband said, no, I can remember. You want a bowl of ice cream. She then told him to get a bowl of ice cream with some whipped cream. She said, write that down. He said, no, I remember. You want a bowl of ice cream with some whipped cream. And then she said, I want a bowl of ice cream with whipped cream and a cherry on top. She said, write that down. He said, no, I remember. You want a bowl of ice cream with some whipped cream and a cherry on top. So he went into the kitchen, and he was gone about 30 minutes. And then when he came back, he gave her a plate of bacon and eggs. She looked at it for a while, and she said, you forgot the toast. And since laughing is so good for us, I got another one for you. A husband and a wife are in church, and the preacher notices the husband has fallen asleep. And so he says to the wife, wake your husband up. And she's answered, she says, you're the one that put him to sleep. You wake him up. Giving birth to divine ideas. And then law of attraction in chapter 18 in our textbook. Earlier this week, I needed to make a few runs. And I was going to go to the old neighborhood. But then when I looked at the traffic was backed up even at noon. So I decided to take care of 2 errands locally. And my first stop was at the Vaughn's gas station. And what I learned and what I know is that our lives are lived according to what we need to grow, to give birth to divine ideas. So I'm sitting in my car looking for my debit card so I can get some gas. And I noticed that this couple comes out of the little store, the little mart that's at the gas station. And the man passed by, he went around to his car, because you know you have the stations here. So I'm right here and they're at the next station and their car is here. So the female, she comes by our truck. And I'm sitting in there getting my car and she bumps the mirror on the side. She didn't look up, she didn't say anything, she just kept on walking. And at that moment, my mind started racing. Like I said, things come to us, people come to us by right of where we need to see where we are. And so my mind is thinking about all of the people who do things but don't acknowledge, don't say excuse me or I'm sorry. But then I started thinking, the theme is giving birth to divine ideas. So while I'm sitting there thinking negatively about this young lady who is standing right by me, but didn't never look in the car and say anything, I had to change my mind. At that moment, I had to give birth to a divine idea. Because when we continue to perpetuate what is already an issue or challenge or a problem, we add to it.
That's right.
Therefore, that's why we cannot point the finger at anyone, because you have three pointing right back at you. And then that thumb that's telling you to look up, go a little higher in your consciousness. And so I had to bless her. I had to think of thoughts that would allow me to give birth to a divine idea. And that's what we have to do on a daily basis in our lives. And the people that come and the situations that come are asking us to grow up and be mature spiritual beings. For God is everywhere. And it only affirms what Ernest Holmes says in chapter 18, Law of Attraction. He says at all times, we are either drawing things, people, and situations to us or pushing them away. It is said in the average individual, this process, this practice goes on without us even knowing what we're doing. Even though we're conscious beings, we're sitting in consciousness, but we're drawing to us people, situations that we say we don't want. They only come because by right of consciousness through us. So that's why we come here to get a better word, to remember the teaching that we say we love, to remember to always speak peace, speak divine right action, speak order in your life when you notice that things are out of order. They're already out of order. Why would you continue to talk about it and fuel it? Call forth a new idea. Ernest Holmes says we might say that I don't want to feel sick. I don't want to fail. I don't want heartache. But it comes to teach you and to show you what you're attracting in your life. We always want to blame it on a person or something unfortunate, but everything and all things comes through consciousness. God said, let there be. And God bestowed that same ability in each one of us. So we're saying, let there be. We might not say it audibly, but we're saying it with our thought. That's why he, she, they, them come, or it. Our dialogue, our conversations, the TV shows we watch, the radio stations we listen to, what we read, what we allow ourselves to continue to hear is building what comes in our lives. They got so many reality shows out here, and that's why we see people arguing all the time, because that's what the reality shows do. You got to fight all the time. And what do we see when we're driving down the street? People arguing. What do we hear when somebody calls about somebody arguing, somebody doing this and that? What are we lending our attention to? There's a house up here that we live from. How clean is your house? How often do you straighten it up? How often do you empty those thoughts that are no longer serving your best life? How often are we allowing ourselves to connect with wisdom, with light, with love, with peace? And I agree, some people love the trouble and the trouble. That's what they used to and have no thoughts of getting rid of it. We're supposed to bless them. Misery loves company. And a lot of times they get to catch us. Today we have to not get caught. Life, experiences, expressions can only return to us what we think into it. The law of life will always obtain. God has given us a divine power. We are to give birth to divine ideas with that power. God is the silent power behind all things, always ready to pour into our stream of consciousness, which will then dictate our experiences. So to listen and obey my inner voice is to bear witness to my soul's call, recognizing that I have within me the wisdom, the strength, the courage to change my life into the life that I desire, the life that God promised: abundance, success, wholeness, peace, so on and so on. It's not to say that trials and tribulations won't come, but when you're at peace with yourself and you're at home in the universe, those things come only to pass, to teach you something. Every good book that we read is about people's journey in life. The ups and the downs, the roller coasters, but then the affirmations of what God came in to do with our challenges and our issues. For the spirit within evolves to increase my divine potential. Within us is divine potentiality. What are we going to do with it? We can't just sit on it. We have to let it flow in us, out of us, to bless the world in which we live. We are a family. We came here to show God just how great and grand we are in God. I must speak good experiences into my life. I must speak successful outcomes, strength to conquer all situations. Not to mention, I must speak perfect health in my body, loving and joy-filled relationships. I must speak inspiration, determination into existence. Everything is invisible until somebody calls it out. What are you calling out for your life? Are you calling out wholeness when you have an ache or a pain? Are you calling out right relationships, unified relationships, when it seems that there is discord? Are you calling out resource and supply when it looks like lack? We are to look beyond appearances and call forth what we desire. We, beloveds, are here for a divine assignment and purpose. So giving birth to divine ideas fulfill that assignment, that purpose, and the prophecy. Reverend Joel reminded us that whatever we are today, we can be better tomorrow. Reverend Ahmad always says, every day in every way, I am getting better and better. Are you calling that forth? Because what you do on a daily basis will show up some kind of way. So if you affirm health, eventually health has to show up, because it was there all the time. You are calling it forth that the appearance can dissolve. When principle is established, Reverend Joel reminds us that we should be and could be reborn again. And we're not talking about a physical birth through a canal. We're talking about consciousness, wisdom, a renewal of the heart, bearing witness to the soul of each of us. And it's done by the Trinity, the Father, which is mind, wisdom, that universal realm. And it's done through the Son or the daughter, which is the idea, the vehicle. See, there's a power in the universe. It needs an inlet. And we are to be that. We are to let God in so completely that our life demonstrates the presence and power of God every moment of every day. Even when the appearance of things doesn't look in order, behind that is the truth. But we must practice that truth every moment. Our daily routine will show up in our experiences and our lives. And then the Holy Spirit, the actual thing coming to pass, which is the working of God's power in your life. That speaks of a newness that moves from where we are to where we want to be or what we need. For yesterday does not define us. It is what we hold and think about that does. Make peace with yourself that you and we can create more space to give birth to divine ideas. When we're all clogged up with hurt, pain, worry, doubt, and fear, there's very little space for the Spirit of God to come in and show you what He can do. So the more we get rid of, the more space we are open for the presence and power of God. It's just like a natural thing, going to the bathroom. If you eat, if you take, and you don't let it out, I don't have to tell you what would happen. And that's on your physical basis with your body, but think about your mental space, your heart space. When it's clogged up with hurt, love has very little room. But if you can release that hurt, forgive that person, forgive yourself for carrying it around. When you can release some, then you allow love to have its way with you. This thing that we're practicing called life is really very simple, but we make it really hard and challenging and difficult. But if we could just sit back and let the Spirit of God have its way, God will show you some things that you never thought possible. When we let go of the little, the lesser, and grab hold of the greater, everything in your life becomes greater. You are the greatest thing since sliced bread, because God created you in His image and in His likeness, gave you choice and dominion. And then we have our pioneers, our Ernest Holmes, and all of those that came to remind us of how to practice this stuff. Not just coming here and hearing us speak, but actually putting something in your consciousness, adorning your house with beautiful thoughts. And when you allow those beautiful thoughts to take hold, your heart feels greater. Because then you have this wisdom that touches the feelings on it. And when you're thinking about it and you're feeling about it, you're bringing about it.
Yes.
This is this thing that we call our lives. What are we dictating? What are we holding on to? What are we remembering? Because whatever it is, that's what's going to come even more. So you want more peace, you got to be more peaceful. You want greater joy and happiness, you got to plant those seeds and nurture them within yourself. To give birth is to have received, carried, and then the willingness to release that which was planted. There should be, for a greater outcome's sake, be a trust in a God within, and for any other thought, that would be declared separation. We think there's a God out there, but God is right in here, waiting on each of us to utilize it so completely that it demonstrates through us for others. It is in God's best interest to bless us. Because when God blesses us, we testify. We tell somebody. And when we testify and tell somebody, it brings new believers in. Because if God can do it for them, certainly God can do it for me. Every day we have homework. That is practicing the principles. That is speaking to yourself on a daily basis. We need to talk more with self than we do with people. Amen. Talk to yourself. They used to tell you that if you talk to yourself, you're crazy. But if you don't talk to yourself, you're crazy. Because if you're not speaking to yourself, something else is speaking to you. So it's better that you call forth your desires, your dreams, than let the world plant for you. Plant your own garden. Call forth your own joy. God and its power is awaiting your recognition. And all you have to do is unify with it. Realize that all things are possible, no matter what it looks like right now. Believe in God for greater. And when you can realize that all things are possible, then you give thanks. For it's already done. And when you give thanks, release that love. Release it to much more capable hands. Your Father, your Creator, the wisdom, and love of our lives give birth to a divine idea. Peace and abundance.
Amen.